What's going on, YouTubers? For is the Natural Born Driller, and I want to give you my final thoughts about this Owen Hart DVD from the WWE Home Video when it comes to Owen Hart of Gold. And just want to say the DVD itself is a good DVD. In fact, it's a great DVD when it comes to talking about the life, career of Owen Hart. It's, especially when it comes to coming up to his unfortunate death and what comes, talk about his legacy. And I say to everyone that when it comes to watching Owen Hart matches and when it comes to watching, a documentary about Owen Hart when it comes to his life and career. I mean, you can see that a lot on YouTube and everything. When it comes to, off the cuffs, off script and everything. This one was obviously, it was a scripted, documentary when it comes to talk about some things that they didn't want you to know about Owen Hart. When it comes to that, that unfaithful day, from March 23rd, 1999. I mean, May 3rd, May 23rd, 1999. Excuse me. I apologize. But I remember there was some things talking about when it comes to making the Owen Hart DVD at the time. Maybe not right at the time, but watching a clip at the time. When it comes to, they was going to be planning on doing an Owen Hart DVD. Now, obviously, they was going to do without the consent of Martha Hart because, the old regime at the time didn't give a shit. Just, plain and simple. They just didn't give a shit. Where there was some selections of what the DVD was going to be about Owen Hart. And one of them that was baffled to me was they wanted to do a DVD about the demise of Owen Hart. And yeah, I know what that means. It means focusing on more of his death. The surrounding of his death on that unfaithful day. And I thought to myself, I could definitely see them doing something like that, especially after what happened what they did with the Ultimate Warrior back in 2005 when they did the whole self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD. It was meant to bury Ultimate Warrior's existence because he refused to work with them, because they wanted to put him in the Hall of Fame, and he rejected them because of the bad, relationship they had, at his time working there, which he's not wrong, and that's what they did, what they did, and I think they tried to do the same thing with Scott Hall, at the time. Not that he didn't want to work with them. I'm pretty sure he would have, but what comes to paying this because of his lifestyle, because he wouldn't stop drinking, he wouldn't stop doing these things that obviously it caught with him later on. But he did get some cleanup though because of throwing down his page and everything. So, but either way, I remember that. If I remember, I think they wanted to do something about that with Scott Hall as well. I don't know why, but then again, this is your regime when it comes to being petty and don't give a shit, like what happened with Owen Hart, is part of the reason why they want to do that too. And again with Ultimate Warrior, because that's and that's why they did that DVD. Which is why they went with Bret Hart. And when it comes to having Ultimate Warrior to be in the Hall of Fame, sometime like in 2008, something like that. I'm assuming, but whatever year it was, that was the year where they put Ted DiBiase in there, the $1 Million Man. So it had to be like 2008 or 2009, one of those years. And obviously, Ultimate Warrior didn't want to do it, so they put the $1 Million Man in the Hall of Fame. Not did they do it because he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, or did they do it because of the path, the past of feuds, beef from outside of the ring that Ted DiBiase and Ultimate Warrior had, because those two were not fond with each other during those times. So I was hoping they put him in there because he earned it, because he deserved to be in there, because Ted DiBiase, the entire man, a tremendous wrestler, if not one of the, but one of the greatest of all times to step into those ropes. to do what he does in the ring. But I don't know. But all I know is that Ted DiBiase does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, just like Ultimate Warrior deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, whichever you want to say, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, which he is twice. For NWO and for his Razor Ramon character. As far as Owen Hart here, I would say he will eventually go into the WWE Hall of Fame if Mark Hart allows it to happen. But he's already a Hall of Famer either way, not only in our hearts but also in the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. When it comes to what Owen Hart has contributed to the pro wrestling business, and not just talking about with WWE. Sorry about that, folks. I have to pause this for a reason, but this DVD I think is worth to spend, even though the money should go to Martha Hart, to her family, and to the Owen Hart Foundation. Because again, this was back in 2015. This was made with the old regime doing this. And when it comes to the DVD, I didn't see all the matches yet on here. I mean, there's matches I already seen already of Owen Hart, but those were in WWF. I didn't see his matches from Stampede or from WCW, even though there's only one WCW match here. But that's and I'm pretty sure there's one WWF match I didn't see on here. But I'm gonna check out these matches, and maybe I'll do maybe we'll talk about the matches on there eventually, on another video. But either way, but I think this DVD is a pickup. A great pickup for to watch and everything. And again, this should they should talk things out with Martha Hart to make a DVD about Owen Hart, because it's rare that we don't we don't get to talk about Owen Hart in WWF or in WWE I should say, because of what happened with him on that unfaithful day. And no one should be blamed for that but Vince McMahon and the old regime. And most likely Vince, because especially after that DVD, or not that DVD, especially that Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix, where he had no regrets of doing the show, and he said if he would go back to change anything, no, he would still have no regrets and still continue on the show, even if it was Shane or Vince McMahon in that position. Well, I didn't care. I don't care if Vince McMahon's in that position. I don't give a shit. He can die all I care. But Shane McMahon, I wouldn't wish that on him, and I definitely would not wish that on Owen Hart. I would definitely wish that on Vince McMahon, because he fucking deserves it. After all these years, he showed his true colors about how he felt about Owen Hart and the rest of the other talents. If any other talents were in that position, he wouldn't give a shit. And he had no regrets of it at all. He had zero regrets of what happened, which is why he continued the show, because he was in control. If everyone remembers In Your House, Beware of the Dog, this man was not in control when it comes to the weather. There was a horrible weather where it was a blackout, and the show to continue on with wrestlers wrestling. And I thought that was dangerous for the wrestlers, because they got to see what they got to do in that ring. They can't see in total darkness, and the fans could barely see too and all. Even though they could see a little bit, but they, in reality they really couldn't see that much. And I love the notion of that, because this man was not in control. He could have canceled the show, but he decided to let the show continue on, and and then maybe on Raw, like maybe a day or weeks later, whatever, he redo the matches. And I'm like, well, if that was the case, then why didn't you stop the show then? Now, the lights eventually it did come back on. I'm not saying it was off completely, but some matches had to be redo because of that. Or should I say, maybe most of them did redo because of that. Because Vince McMahon was not in control of the weather. He was not in control. Mother Nature was. But on that night when Owen Hart died, Vince was in control. Vince McMahon could have canceled the show after that, but he continued the show. Why? Because he already had the people's money, and he didn't give up the money. That was all that was. No refunds. Even though, and this notion of the fans didn't see it because it was dark. Well, I'll tell you one thing. when I was at Arthur Ashe Stadium, Aleister Black, Malachi Black, whatever you want to say, did an entrance where um, he was standing on the aisle, and then all of a sudden it went black. The arena, it went dark, and then I saw him. While no lights on, no type of lights on, I saw him walk into the turnbuckle, because that was gonna be his thing. His thing is that he appeared. The thing is the thing is that it's supposed to be like smoke and mirrors. The whole type of whatever it's called. Mythical powers, whatever, where he could transport from the aisle all the way to the turnbuckle, basically transfer into the ring. I saw that, and it was dark. Now, what comes to that though, because it's kind of different, because we did have our fans have their phones out and everything, but doesn't mean that the lights they had their phone, their phone lights or anything was on, like what comes to Bray Wyatt's entrance, with the fireflies. So, now I wouldn't know, because I wasn't part of those shows during those times. It comes to that, where there were no cell phones, but there were cameras. That when it comes to flashlights and everything. So I don't know if that was the case or not. But either way, I doubt that, because I don't know. But I don't know. I can't really speak on it that much. But it doesn't matter. Either way, it doesn't fucking matter. A man died in the ring, and all you care about is continuing the show, because the fans didn't see it, because it was dark in there, and you had no regrets of continuing the show, because we still have these things to do on the show, because we had better further a story. A man's life was taken away from us, and you didn't give a shit, and for that, fuck you, Vince McMahon, for what you did to Owen and to the rest of the family, because you were the reason why the family has been divided all these years. We would not be in this situation if it wasn't for this man, for what he did by forcing Owen Hart to do this stunt, and rehearsals and everything, and forcing him to do the stunt on that night, because Owen Hart didn't want to do this stunt. Owen Hart did not want to do it, and this DVD wasn't going to cover this, by the way. I knew it wasn't going to cover this whole thing, which I didn't expect them to do. It was just going to talk about what happened with Owen Hart, and then and people was going to feel sorry and cry and get emotional about what happened with Owen Hart, and rightfully so. But you do expect anyone to on this DVD to talk about that this man is a piece of shit for allowing Owen Hart to do the stunt? You think people on here in this DVD is gonna say that Owen Hart didn't really want to do the stunt? No, of course not, because they're in control of the narratives of this DVD to edit some things when it comes to it. So, but this DVD itself is a great pickup. It's something to rewatch and everything. And Owen Hart, who should still be here to this day, when it comes to doing everything that Owen Hart could be doing, what all wrestlers are doing right now. And it's unfortunate he's not. And it's unfortunate he's no longer with his family, because he probably would have had a couple more family, comes kids. And it's unfortunate we don't have him around anymore. So, and I hope that if WWE, eventually ever do business with Martha Hart, all funds should go to the Owen Hart Foundation. Because let's face it, WWE doesn't need, to make money out of Owen Hart or off of Owen Hart. They're making tons of money as there is right now with businesses, networks, sponsorships, wherever have you, man. So, WWE, with the new regime, they need to do the right thing. Reach out to Martha Hart. Hell, have Mark Henry help out. in that situation. Reach out to Martha Hart. Do business with Martha Hart. And prove to her and to the rest of the Hart family that what happened with Owen Hart could have been preventable. And we want to work things out with you. So we can put him in the Hall of Fame, sell merch of his, and then do a DVD, another DVD about Owen Hart. And hopefully there will be some type of closure when it comes to Martha Hart and WWE. Because Vince McMahon is gone. And he deserves to be gone. Never to come back ever again. So, with that being said, folks, thank you all for watching. That's my final thoughts when it comes to this DVD of Owen Hart, Hart of Gold. And when it comes to Owen Hart himself, when it comes to Martha Hart and her family, and when it comes to WWE. And that's all there is to it. So, thank you all for watching. Take care.